The world's population is growing, and so is its appetite for meat. As a result, we're dedicating an ever-increasing amount of land, water, and energy to raise livestock. But this is simply not sustainable. Cultivated meat is a new way of making real meat just without the animal. So what you do is just grow the fat and muscle cells that are required for the end product, and growing meat this way actually releases up to 87% fewer greenhouse gases and uses just a fraction of the land and water.
Conventional meat can contain different diseases and viruses and bacteria, but cultivated meat will just contain the meat cells, which is cellularly the same. Also, you can design the composition of fat and muscle ratio, you can design the different amino acids you want it to include.
So you may ask, why can't we buy it already? This is a question that my co-founders and I were asking ourselves a few years ago, and to answer it, we went to research how cultivated meat is actually grown. To make cultivated meat, you need 3 key components. First, you need a sample of animal stem cells. Then what's called a growth medium provides the nutrients required to grow these stem cells into the meat. And finally, just like we see in the brewing industry, large fermentation tanks are then used to scale production and meet demand. What we found was that the key challenge holding back this entire industry is the cost of feeding the cells. This growth medium makes up over 80% of production costs. Current solutions were just never designed for the food industry. Companies are using fetal bovine serum, and that actually is derived from pregnant cows during the slaughtering process. And clearly this goes totally against the ethical and sustainability aspirations of the cultivated meat industry, and we knew there'd be a better solution. What we're making at Multus Media is a completely animal-free replacement to blood serum that is designed specifically for the cultivated meat industry. We test thousands of growth media recipes to make sure that we are achieving consistent performance across multiple cell lines. So what we're doing in-house is actually using a protein engineering platform that we've developed to maintain the core active component of these proteins, but actually enhance specific performance characteristics to make them more suitable for large-scale production. We're developing and streamlining our ingredient production and mixing using existing infrastructure from the brewing and biopharmaceutical industries. This way, we can leverage contract manufacturers to reach scale across the world and drive down costs. Cultivated meat is still in its infancy and is broadly unknown to the wider public. But recently, there's been a dramatic shift in consumer appetite for meat alternatives. With a core focus on growth media development, we are enabling profitable scale-up for leading cultivated meat companies and lowering entry barriers for new innovators to drive this space forward. In summary, at Multus Media, we're making cultivated meat the affordable and sustainable solution.
I'm joined now by Kai Linton, the CEO of Multus Media. Hi, Kai.
Hi, Julie. It's great to be here.
Now, in the film, you mentioned Proliferum M is your first product. And I wonder if you could add some detail here about your product development timeline and possible customer feedback.
Sure. So Proliferum M is a true animal-free serum replacement that is designed to grow mammalian stem cells. Beyond this, in our further product catalog, we'll be developing similar products then for avian cells, so for companies working with chicken and duck products, and also tackling seafood as well down the line. In terms of how that timeline will look, so actually right at the end of our product development with Proliferum M and ready to send out early samples by the end of this year to our closer partners, which will then take to scale up by autumn next year and actually commercialize that. In terms of then the other products, then avian cells are our next focus, and then seafood will come after that.
And am I right in thinking that M stands for mammalian, and perhaps we will see a Proliferum A and Proliferum, whatever types of the cells are going forward?
Yes, that's right. M is for mammalian cells. So those companies are working with beef and pork products.
And this market size for cultivated meat is one that is growing. So I wonder if you could add some detail to this market and others that you might tap into using the same technology.
Absolutely. So we actually have three different revenue streams to tackle the cultivated meat space. And although cultivated meat products aren't available on the market today, there's this growing demand for growth media, as many of these companies are now beginning to develop their production process and then scale that to bring their product to market over the next couple of years. So first we'll have this catalog of serum replacements that I just described, but actually also we've developed this entire media development pipeline that enables us to test thousands of different formulations every week. So really we could offer that as an additional service on top of these formulations, and also those proteins that we've engineered, as I mentioned in the video. These are an additional ingredient in our growth media that we could sell to companies. So right now we estimate the market for growth media by 2024 will be over $700 million in value, and that will grow steadily actually to just shy of $25 billion by 2030.
And just to emphasize the technical milestones that you've met during this program, you've screened thousands, as you mentioned, of different media in the recipes. Can you talk about the milestone that you've made with Proliferum M?
Yeah, so we've been super busy over these past 5 months, and I'm really proud of the progress that our team has made. So in screening all these formulations, Proliferum M right now is at a stage where it's about 80% in terms of performance compared to the gold standard of animal-based growth media. So right now, all we're doing is making some final iterations on the consistency of that performance before sending those out for customer testing, validation, and feedback by the end of this year.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Kai, for taking time to answer a few questions about Multus Media today.
Thanks, Julie.